What time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah. Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah.
Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, move on to treat, yeah. Keep listening.
Happy Friday to you and welcome to the Friday edition of your show. Still the only live show on YouTube from 4 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday on YouTube, mostly because our producers are still in school and that was the only time they could come to work as well. Hey, out of there. Sorry, Maggie's been getting into the steak of snake lately. You're not eating that. Come on. As well, we like to make up categories that we are number one in. And today, we are the number one category on YouTube that has a guest that has to leave in 13 minutes. Something to think about. As we now make our way to, hey, the Maggie Cam. As you can see, as she is trying to eat the dirt in Jake the Snake's plants, please stop doing that. Okay? Look at the camera. Turn it around. No? You don't want to show the people how beautiful you are? Okay. The Maggie Cam for our fantastic friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. I just saw the copy of the video. Here she goes. For the latest adventure with Maggie that Brooksy and I helped put together the other day with Mike, as well as Leroy, their dog, who is dating Maggie. We did a little shopping spree to get ready for Halloween, and she picked out a bunch of sweet Halloween-themed toys. And you can too. You will see that out, I believe, on Tuesday of next week. Another great way for you to see what we are all about over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. Mike and Rochelle, as well as Leroy, are there during the weekend or after hours. You'll see Kirsten, Shar, or Chris. But I am a little bit disappointed. Maggie, that was a bad Maggie Cam, bro. All you did was eat dirt and then turn around and refuse to face the camera. Let's go to some better guests as we move on this Friday. One half of the Commander Cookout podcast, one half of the Past Our Bedtime podcast. Together, they are a full set of awesome. It's Hardcore and Uncle Brando with a side sweep. Sweet. Welcome, guys. How's everyone doing today?
It's been a good week.
Yes, it has been a good week.
Tell us about your week first. You were way more excited than he was.
I don't know. It's just been better than the last two.
It's probably because you're settling into your new home.
Yep.
You have to fact check that with yourself first.
Yes, that checks out.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Well,
had to think about that.
I do know the hot tub is glorious. We've seen it on the latest episode of Past Our Bedtime.
Yeah. How'd you guys feel about it?
I thought it was a great episode. I'm just happy that Jessica mentioned warblers.
Yeah.
They're my favorite.
Did you actually learn something?
I learned that I don't like looking at dead birds. I don't know why you throw the picture of the dead bird in there. That
Yeah.
threw me off a little bit.
You know, if a dead bird not dead bird, if a real bird hits your window and dies, it's bad luck.
Yeah, that's why I always revive them.
How do you revive them?
You
Yeah.
pick it up and I like to fan it a little bit and get a little drink of water, and then you just wait till they come back to consciousness, and then they start drinking a little bit,
Yeah.
and you put them on your hand, and you can walk them around, and then
Oh.
send them off.
But what if they don't come back to life? Then you've just been carting a dead body around.
Well, no, then you just say, he'll wake up.
It happened to my
Then
daycare
you
lady,
leave it.
so that's why I brought it up. We bury them. Every time they hit one of our windows, we bury them.
Give them an honorable death.
Yeah.
What if they're not dead yet?
Well, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, Brando.
Wouldn't that be horrific if you put them in a little bird box? Not a very good show.
Yeah.
And then bury them in the garden?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
And they wake up and they're like, I don't know what birds sound like when they panic, but that's
Probably
what
not
they sound
good.
like.
Yeah,
Right? Man.
that's fair.
You want some tea?
I think we got some tea. I'll
I
take
love
the
some.
one with the dirty old bugs in it,
Okay.
right there. As one of the big things they do on Past Our Bedtime is
Oh, I'm
they
making
start
a
every
mess.
show with a
Ooh.
lovely little cheers and a slurp of some tea.
So this one I have not tried. I've been fighting something.
Welcome
just
to the
made
rest
a
of the world, hey?
Big mess.
Everybody's gonna thank you very much, sir.
So it has red clover leaves in it. No,
Ooh.
flowers.
Red clover
Echinacea.
flowers?
Or leave.
Red clover flowers.
Okay, I know it's hard being a witch and working within the cauldron, so I understand it's hard to get all these things down.
Yeah, and I just got a whole new shipment, so I'm just trying to learn all of them.
One day we're gonna start slinging this stuff, but for now, let's give it a cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers.
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 Hey.
And a big old slurp.
It's not bad.
Oh, that's good. It's hot, but it's good.
hot.
Brando, your fly's back. I found him. Brando is going to be spending the rest of the episode trying to take care of that fly, as it's been bugging him for about a month now. How do you feel like the show transferred over to the hot tub set from the couch set?
It's different. The backyard looks really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could have lived in that treehouse you set up in the background.
My dad built that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he built a bunch of other ones. We haven't put them up yet, but I was worried that it wasn't gonna be good, but it turned out good.
It was great.
I think I like the episode more than what it projected because I was with Jessica. So she's one of my favorite people in the world.
She's very funny.
Yeah, she kept holding the can in front of her face.
Yeah.
That's
That's true.
I kept eyeballing it, and I was like, we need to take
you
this
took it
away.
out. You actually had to take it out of her hands. It was
Yeah.
great. But
And then
what
her
are you supposed to
hand
do
was
with
in
your
the way.
hands, right? It's hard.
Yeah.
When you got like a mic. What you should have did, and I'm just thinking about this now, get hats and put the mics onto the hats.
Oh, that's a good
And
idea.
just sort of turn them in, and then you have your hands free to do the drinking.
It is good. Hey, we got really hot. Both me and Jess were like sweating. And
Yeah.
you couldn't tell on screen, but like you could tell the hair is getting curly. But yeah, it was a good time.
That's why they call it a hot tub.
Yeah,
Is that why they call it a
That's
hot tub?
Not because it's sexy hot, it's temperature hot.
yeah.
Oh,
I think it could probably be more hot, depending on who's in it.
well.
Hot tub, in general. So that's the latest episode. New episode dropping on Monday. Can you
Yep.
give us a teaser of what we're going to see on the new one?
Yeah, it's How We Met Our Partners.
Oh,
Yeah.
love stories.
Yeah, mine is a true love story. It's for the history books.
Is it actually? Or are you saying that?
That sounded a
to-
little facetious.
Well, we've been together for 16 years, so it's
That's
been a long time.
Okay, so it's a long love story.
Yeah, and we were degenerates when we met, so
Nice. Congratulations.
yeah,
So
we've
were
grown
we.
up a
Yes,
bit.
so are me and Gary.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
we've evolved.
So have we.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
This
it's a
is
good
nice to know.
episode. Wendy had no idea like how me and Matt met, because she's just, as long as she's known me, we've been together, and it's just not something
Yeah.
that you talk about, right?
That's a great point.
And Brad and her met when we've been friends, so I knew the whole
the
history.
whole story. So it was like one that already knew everything, another one that was being informed during the show.
yeah, it was a good episode.
I always love those dynamics of interviews because they're no longer interviews, they become conversations because you're genuinely interested in what the answers are.
Yeah,
And then that guides the conversation.
yeah, absolutely.
Very
So,
well done.
Yeah, it's a
This
good
is
one.
Weren't you and I around for when Wendy?
Oh, yeah, we were right in the middle of that.
We were like right there.
We saw it. We
Yeah.
saw the magic happen.
You were living it.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were cheering them on the whole way.
Yeah, you guys
It's
were
so
part
fun.
of. You were like,
We're part of history.
yeah, part of their story, their movie,
Yeah.
their love story
Who's gonna play you in the movie of their life?
of their life.
So it can't be somebody like
Jennifer
you,
Lawrence.
totally famous.
I love
Whoa.
her.
You're a J
Jennifer
Law fan,
Lawrence.
eh? Okay.
Okay.
She's a little crazy.
Who's gonna play Gary?
Yeah.
I'd ask Gary who's gonna play Gary, but I'd
Big
rather ask
Lebowski
you.
guy.
Oh, I like him. The dude.
Who is?
I'm going to put my robe on. He's
Our-
super famous.
LB knows who that is.
Who's our actor? LB on the ones and twos today. LB, who played the dude? Anything?
He's probably saying it into the headpiece, but the headpiece is right here, so we can't hear it.
That's true.
And
Well,
I'm not
I don't
putting
think he's
this in
paying
my
attention.
head.
Oh, he is paying attention. Here he goes. I was going to say. He's on it. He does like 18 things at once in there. It's crazy. Jeff Bridges.
Bridges.
Very, very famous and very popular actor.
Who is? I've never
take
heard.
that one.
I've never heard of him.
I'm just happy it's not Fat Thor. He's famous. He's in a bunch of shows.
Fat Thor.
Yeah, I always just get Fat Thor.
He was Optimus Prime, right?
Fat
Yeah.
Thor, yeah.
Yeah.
The latest one. Who's going to play Brando?
I don't know. I was just thinking.
It's got to be someone hot and jacked.
It's Disney's Tarzan. It's always Disney's Tarzan.
Disney's Tarzan.
Live
Absolutely.
action or the cartoon?
So
Cartoon.
Brendan Fraser
Yeah.
is that his name?
Yeah,
Like, he
certainly not
was-
Brendan Fraser.
he
I'm
was-
not a,
he
maybe
was
current
Tarzan.
Brendan Fraser. Yeah.
Poor Brendan Fraser. He only ever did two good movies, hey? Encino Man and Bedazzled. That was it.
Oh, but Dazzled was the Mummy was okay. The first Mummy movie was.
Oh,
good.
yeah, okay, I'll give you Mummy.
I thought that,
Yeah.
the first one was
He
good.
did not age well. He was like dreamy in Encino Man, and then all of a sudden now he's just, what happened? He got dropped down. A
Well,
flight of
he
stairs.
did gain like 1,000 pounds for that movie about that super depressing, sad movie that
Yeah, The
everyone's like,
Whale.
oh man, this is great. That's just expose how shitty it is to be living like this. That'll make people. It's like the Joker movie. Like, what the hell is wrong with
Did
people?
you
Why do
see
you
The
want to go
Joker?
see? No, the first one.
Oh,
I got dragged to it. I knew I didn't want to see it, and then I realized why right away, as it was just a huge spotlight on all of the issues we deal with as a society and as a world. And it's like, I don't need a movie to tell me that.
yeah, we live it.
Yeah. So hey, there he is. Look at Fat Thor.
Oh, look at that guy.
That's the one I'm normally getting. That's what the in-laws would always call me. That was the big joke. Was I was just Fat
You're
Thor,
not
which is like if you're gonna be a fat dude, that's the one to be.
Yeah, like if they're
Yeah.
gonna compare you to Chris Hemsworth, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Like,
even if he does look like that.
of people named Chris, Hemsworth is a good one,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that's a good picture.
I got a
though.
question for you guys. It's
LB, you're the best. Thank
Thanksgiving.
you.
Do you got any traditions that you're going to be doing this year?
Family dinners.
How many?
I just got a text here. So I was talking to Dad because we got stuff going on this weekend. We're doing some stuff over. Hello to all of our friends out at Echo Bay, out at the lake. We love you guys. Doing some moving of stuff out there. And then Sunday, we got a tea time. Our final tea time at the Willows for 4/11. And after our tea time, we're going to have a family dinner. I thought that was going to be at the condo, but apparently I just got a message from my beautiful, sweet sister-in-law saying we are invited to the first Thanksgiving at their new house.
Ooh.
And their new house, you guys, I'll tell you, if we were to take this entire set here, the beautiful Dufferin Avenue Media Network command center inside the Sotner Concrete Surfaces Clubhouse, and we're to put it inside this home that they have purchased and have made their own, you could probably fit about 20 of these in there.
Wow.
It's one of the nicest houses I've ever been around. It's so cool. And it sounds like they might be putting it up right away. Like they just moved in like a month ago.
Wow.
Right into Thanksgiving. Are you hosting?
No, I'm not. We're not doing a single thing, and I love that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And you like the freedom of not having to do anything.
Oh God, I just feel liberated that I'm not tied down to going anywhere or doing
There's
anything.
a lot of pressures, right?
Yeah.
But especially with two partners with different families, and if you have stuff going on within that,
Yeah.
So I know I've been through some of that. I get it.
So do you do a thing? Like, are you guys going to have like a dinner that you made? Like maybe not one of those like huge, massive meals, but like
Yeah, great question.
you know,
So
buy a bucket of
Family
chicken or something. You know what I mean?
So I got a new cookbook. So every couple weeks we take the kids to the library and they get their books and then I get like cookbooks. And if I like it, I'll buy it. And I haven't found one yet. Anyway, I found one about turmeric and ginger.
Oh, super spices, hey?
I'm just so excited to do every single recipe in this book. Matt bought it for me because I was so excited. I'm like, I need every single recipe in this book. And then I got a bread making recipe book. So I'm going to make bread and make concoctions with ginger and turmeric.
It's like every single professional I go to about all of my aches and pains always says turmeric and ginger.
Yep.
Just spoon it in. It's like, dude.
Yeah.
Red-headed tumor bread.
That
Gobble gobble.
That's the bird. That's the one that you guys
Yeah, we
talking
probably
about.
won't do something. I don't know. I don't know. There's like this meatball and rice recipe in the ginger book, so I might try that.
I think they're called porcupine balls. I've had those before.
Have you?
Yeah, someone made porcupine balls, and I was like, what the hell? Why are we eating the balls off a porcupine? I don't want that.
Was it
It's
delicious?
like, well, no, it's not actual porcupine. It's like meat with rice, and that's like porcupine balls.
Okay.
So I imagine the rice would be like the porcupines of the porcupine.
Man, they call stuff just weird shit, don't they?
It's true. They
Yeah.
really do.
Wow.
Uncle Brando, what you got going on?
Oh man, see, I love Thanksgiving,
Here.
but every year we get to the Thanksgiving weekend and I'm always like, oh my God, I don't want to do any of this. Not because I dislike it, but because it's like there's so much of it, right? Like you realize how much good you have in your life and how much things I have to be thankful for. But it's like, I gotta wake up, come here, see you and Ryan. I gotta record CCO, hop in the car, drive to Moose Jaw, do one of those great big family dinners with my girlfriend's family. I gotta hop back in the car, drive home, walkers, go to bed, wake up, edit CCO, go to my mom's house, have another big family dinner with my family, go home, go to bed, wake up, do all my grocery shopping and stuff because thank goodness I have a day off and that's amazing. And then I got to go over to supper at my buddy's place because we have a Thanksgiving tradition where we all get together and we say all the stuff that pissed us off all year.
Festivus.
Which is my favorite part of any Thanksgiving meal is to say all of the things that make me mad and then they're out in the universe and I can just be chill and eat all that turkey.
That's
It's
great.
an early Festivus.
Yeah, there's just lots
nice.
going on. So
I appreciate that.
going into it, I dread it. Coming out of it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm glad that's over. And then a couple days later, very happy I did all those things. Got to see all my favorite people and eat some good food.
Just got to get in there. That's what I'm dealing with. I got my good friend Grandma, who actually we recorded the debut episode for the brand new show debuting here, hopefully in the next couple weeks, called Story Time with Uncle Grandma. He's a session drummer. He's been on the road. He's the guy that was on Kill Tony. If you watch podcasts at all, he got his name pulled in Calgary when Kill Tony was here. Put on an incredible performance. Won a Mexican drum off, technically. And we're going to turn that sort of into some episodes as the crowd. It was by crowd, and obviously Grandma's crowd was louder than Humberto's crowd, who was the drummer at the time. So we're going to start a campaign to get him back on Kill Tony. But the point of the story is he just sent me an invite about an hour ago. They're having a Friends Thanksgiving tomorrow night.
Hell yeah.
But he just let me know, and I'm already busy. So I'm like, damn it, dude. Wish I would have known before. So I'm already missing those things because, again, everyone gets busy. He was here yesterday, and he just forgot to tell me, and so he invited me. So shout out to Uncle Grandma and his Friendsgiving that they're putting on tomorrow. I appreciate the invite big time. Hardcore,
Yep.
do you have any more time? You're right up against it here. What are we doing?
Yeah, I have one more question. Are you going to the concert this Friday?
Next Friday,
Yep.
I am. I just confirmed with my good buddy Bergie. We are going to go.
That
Now,
sounds fun.
The prices of the tickets are a real runaround. And I was talking earlier with the boys saying that I'm not a big Dropkick Murphys fan anymore, as I used to be when I was coming up, but then working in radio really ruined it for me, and now I can't really listen to them. So we're going to go watch Pennywise and then roll out before the big crowd. So it's going to be a nice, exciting Friday night seeing one of our favorite punk rock bands who has got back their old singer, which is very
Oh.
nice. But so they got both the new one and the old one together, which is interesting.
Oh, cool. That's like Kill Switch. That at one point they
Exactly.
had.
Howard
yeah.
Jones. I love Howard Jones. See, I came in with Killswitch too before the first guy, so I was a Howard Jones guy from the start. And then when he left with all of his shit, and then the new guy or the old guy came back, I was like, okay. And then both together, now we're all happy.
Yeah, it's nice to see that they can actually like go on tour together and do songs together
Yeah.
and do all that stuff together.
Yeah, and not only that, it's great for everyone as a whole because you get both versions of a band you love.
Yeah. I looked up the Metallica Pantera concert tickets.
Yeah.
Did you see how much they are?
We had our buddy Matt from All the Bands, co-host of the All Out of
That's
Angst podcast, which
wild.
was out yesterday. He
They went down
splurged.
a couple of pegs in my like favorite bands because I was like, who can afford that?
Yeah. Super fans. It's
Super fans.
It's people that go into debt to go see it because it's on the list of things you want to do before you pass.
Right. I mean, I get it. It's like really big bands, but also you have to fly there. You know, you have to.
There's all those
stay.
things.
Yeah.
And we actually talked a lot about those things. We did tips on how to, and it's more for bands, but tips on how to get your band in the door and touring on a budget and doing things that won't basically screw you over later down the road, as in like right down to the amount of equipment you pack up and sharing equipment and then bringing garbage bags, like just these little things. And the whole point of it was just lodging alone. How you can do like the truck stop shower, sleep in the van,
Yeah.
those sort of things. So
Yeah.
you can make these tours if you want to, but if you're flying or anything, you're already screwed. So
Yeah.
it all goes in there. But there are maps to make it happen. You just have to be very frugal and smart about it.
Yeah, I thought about it and I was like, I got kids. I can't afford that.
How often do you say that in a week?
I don't know a lot.
Okay, we're not leaving you on a negative. That was a negative.
that
Give us
was-
something positive before you go. What's really good in hardcore's life right now?
Your nails look really nice.
Hey,
It's
look
the
those
first
nails.
time I've ever got my nails done,
Halloween.
ever.
Nice.
My daughter and I had Mommy and Me Day last weekend, and I let her pick anything. Like, we can do anything you want. Go to a movie, go for supper, go shopping, whatever. And she's like, I want to get my nails done. I was like, all right, she's 4. So, I've
Do you
never
even have
gotten
to
them
pay
done.
to get a 4-year-old nails done?
You do. It's cheaper. But
Obviously.
it was the best thing ever. She like sat there and got them done, and she'd look at me and she'd be like, and then they're like, put it in the light, and then she'd put it in the light and look at me, and I'm like, oh god, it's just worth it just seeing how happy she was. So
That's it.
yeah. But then I found out I gotta go back there to get it taken off.
Wow.
Pretty sure you can take it off yourself.
Because of the stuff they put on it.
Doesn't it just grow off of your finger?
No, they literally
No.
have a thing called nail polish remover.
It doesn't work like that.
Well, then
Not
why
with
do they
this
call it
stuff.
that?
I have to go get them like buffed off.
Hold on a second. Why do they call it nail polish remover? It
Well, you
doesn't do that.
can if you got like regular nail polish on, but
Oh,
I
is
got
this like
like
super nail polish?
yeah, stupid. So now I
What,
gotta
they
go
put, like,
back.
tar
Why don't you
on
just-
there or something?
Why don't you just keep them? They look nice.
Well, sure, but then they're gonna grow out and look silly.
Well, when they grow out, you just cut them off, and then they'll be gone.
Okay.
Problem solved.
I don't know how any of this works, but I feel like
think
we
you
might
nailed
have
it.
cracked the code.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah, this
I'm
going back
going
a
to keep
second
you here
is
until you
scam.
say you have to
No,
go.
I gotta
just
go.
so you know.
I
Okay,
gotta
so
go
that's
pick
it.
I promised my kid I'd pick her up from daycare.
That's fair. See, that's
Okay.
going back
And
to being a good
usually-
mother. A
Yeah,
good mom
usually
stuff.
Matt picks her up, so I'm gonna pick her up today.
Oh, is this one of those brownie
Special
points
days.
the other way? You're like, honey, look what I did.
No.
No?
It's more of like for her.
Oh,
Yeah.
teamwork. I don't know why I thought there was a dynamic of keeping score in
No.
a relationship.
Not at all.
Good.
No.
Then it's healthy. That's what I learned.
That's why she's been with her partner for 16 years, and we are sitting here on this show right now.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Past Our Bedtime podcast, it is Hardcore.
Bye guys. Thanks.
Have
Bye.
a good weekend.
Thanksgiving.
Bye bye.
Woo!
All right.
All right, watch this now. Instead of worrying about transitioning, LB, why don't you do some magical work and somehow transport yourself onto this stage and let's talk some football, bro. What do you think of that? Got a big game in Ryderville, and we got a big name to get us all set. He is the face that built the place, co-host of the viewing room, and our very own Ryder Insider. Ladies and gentlemen, his name is LB. Golf clap. Tough crowd today. Yeah, see, they're
Yeah,
happy
there we
with you. How you
Typical.
doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm
Yeah?
good.
You just lost on your football game on your phone. So
No, I won.
Oh, but you
I
just
won.
threw an
I won.
interception, but still won.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
it was like 10 seconds left, so it doesn't really
still.
matter. And I was up by a touchdown, so
Yeah, you sound like the Riders now. Big game tomorrow against BC.
5 o'clock in Regina, so we got home field advantage. It's gonna be an interesting one. We've only played BC once this season,
And you've been scared of BC.
well, yeah, I'm less scared than I was.
Nice.
And this time we both have different quarterbacks. When we played them before, it was Vernon
yeah,
Adams
that's right.
and Shea Patterson, and this time it's Rourke and Harris.
So the starters.
Yeah,
The
well,
backups are done, even though Vernon was pretty good.
well, he was the starter until
Yeah.
they brought Rourke back. So
They got a nice little, they got a comfy QB
They do.
situation over there.
They do,
Good for
yeah.
them. So I was reading on the internet that sales a little bit are down as I think they're promoting 2-for-1s right now to fill the stadium up. What's up with that?
I don't pay attention to the sales. I pay attention to the football.
Okay, well, that's fair. So you don't know anything about the stands.
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
The big complaint that I saw was this team's doing so good. You know, they clinch, they need people in the stands, and no one's showing up, so they're doing 2-for-1 deals. Yeah, that's what I heard. Am I making Ryder rumors again? Could
I
be.
didn't see anything about that.
Okay.
I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying. I
Well,
didn't
yeah,
see
of course. And I assume by the time game time comes tomorrow, there will be a nice full stadium for the
would hope
boys
so.
to take on BC. What kind of playoff implications are we looking at here, dude?
If we win, we're guaranteed second place. Technically, we're still in the race for first place. We could win the West, or we could be first in the West.
Winnipeg?
Winnipeg right now they're 10-6.
I still can't believe
We're
you missed
8-7
that
and
vote
1.
so much.
So if we win our
Went
next
out.
two
They're gonna
games
lose to.
and they lose their next two,
That
we'll
tie.
be with that tie will put us over them.
Yep.
But if we lose, then we're not guaranteed a playoff spot. Or sorry, not we're no,
Not a home
not
game.
a home
Got
game,
you.
right?
Yes. So you're
we're
playing
still
for a home
we're in
game
the
for sure.
playoffs.
Yeah.
We're in the playoffs for sure, unless Hamilton crosses over. But I don't think we're in any danger of that right now. So
So that's
Yeah.
good. So win, and you're hosting a playoff game. Win 2 in a row, have Winnipeg lose 2 in a row. You got a bye week, and then you're hosting, which
Yes.
is even better.
yes,
So we're looking at
I feel
all
like the
that.
chances of that happening because Winnipeg is playing Toronto and then the Alouettes.
Ooh, those are the
So-
top 2 over there, aren't they?
Yeah, but
Well, I guess
Toronto's
the-
like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
kind of whatever. So I feel like the Alouettes is, if anything, they'll win one and lose one, and they'll still be first. So,
Okay.
but either way, we're still in the playoffs. So
Yes, and that's sort of the biggest takeaway. So now, I don't even want to go down this road, but what happens if the Riders lose to BC?
well, then we're in third place. Again, we're still in the playoffs.
Yeah, so that's not a worry,
So it's not a worry.
but you want that home field
we want that
advantage.
home field advantage.
Okay. So so there's 2 games left,
Yeah.
and then the playoffs start. Who do you want to see them play? What would be your ideal opponent for that first
Hamilton.
playoff game? You
Hamilton.
want that Hamilton, eh?
I honestly, I want BC to lose the next two and Hamilton to win that, such that we're in second place or first place. I mean, first place
Yeah,
obviously would
obviously
be
that's what you
great,
want, yeah.
but second place, and then Hamilton. Except that if we're in first place, I want Winnipeg to play BC.
Ooh, okay. I see. And you just want that so they'll beat up each other and make them a little softer when you host
Yeah.
them? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, it sounds like things are looking up in Ryder Nation. Do you
Ooh,
see
and
any-
we have AJ Olette back.
I
That's
was
the
going to
other
ask.
thing.
That was the next thing I was going to say. Injury-wise, how's the team looking?
There wasn't any injuries, any major injuries last week. It was a relatively
Safe
soft
one,
game,
which we like.
right?
Yep.
And so
Thor's back, which is so. What's Reichel Armstead at? Is he back? Or?
he's not back yet. No. I think he well, it depends on
So-
how we do. But
So this will be a big AJ Ouellette heavy game.
hopefully, I mean that's what we've been wanting from the beginning of the season, and he hasn't really delivered the way we were expecting. So hopefully that they've given him enough time off that he can get that hip ready to go, and we can see a great performance. And then even if he does get injured again, hopefully by that time we have Armstead back,
that
and they can
depth
just
back.
kind of flip flop for the
Yeah.
rest of the season. You know.
And then another thing there too is the opposite side. Like the good part of being injured is you're coming back fresh. This time of year, a lot of guys
Right.
been beat up. You played a whole season. If you got a guy with fresh legs coming in, it's just like the Mets in the playoffs right now. In
Well, it's just
baseball.
like when Armstead came in.
yeah,
right?
you
He
get a
had
guy
a couple
who's
weeks
rested.
off,
That's it.
and then now same thing with Ouellette. I mean, he's been out for quite a while.
Yeah.
So
He'll have fresh legs. He'll come in, and if I were to make any sort of prediction in this game, I would say this is going to be a 100-plus rushing yard, 2-touchdown performance by Thor himself, the great AJ Ouellette.
I hope
The
so.
Riders going to win.
I hope so. The Bombers defense kind of has some issues. So.
Like the Lions?
Yeah,
Sorry. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
say the
I'm with you.
Bombers. The
Yeah,
Lions,
it's a,
yeah.
well, it's because we were talking Bombers. That's all. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing.
And also their offensive line. They've let in like 41 sacks this season.
Ooh.
And for a team that has been pretty good on the blitz,
Yeah.
I think there's some sacks in our future.
Wow. I wonder if that's a bet we could make, like an over/under, like 10 sacks. Just
I
watch.
would take the under.
Yeah,
but
but hey, you know what? If you got a soft line, and I know Rourke is a bit of a mobile QB, not like Vernon,
Yeah.
but still he can move
Yeah.
around. But if that pocket collapses all day, eventually those linemen get worn down, and your big boys go right through them. They'll swim, a sweep, inside, outside, spin around, see you later. Sacks all day. So we're looking for Thor to dominate, and the Riders' defensive line to also dominate.
yes.
And
we gotta
Roland
cover
Milligan.
McInnis.
And Roland Milligan is going to get himself another couple.
Oh,
picks.
he
That's what he
absolutely
does.
is.
Yeah, McInnis. That's another thing no one talks about. He's sort of shot up to stardom. Hey,
Oh,
with BC.
he's really, really good as a
And
receiver. So.
he was a rider for how many years before? God, they're so good at letting these guys go. And
We
just
get
watch
the
them thrive.
stars
Yeah.
that get injured when they come to the Riders, and we have the stars before they
They
leave.
get big. Yeah, all the big stars in the league were former riders. Figure that one out. That's a management thing, hey?
Yes and no. It could be more of like a team environment sort of thing too.
Or scouting,
You know, right? I mean,
player development.
player development. And I mean, like, you know, who knows? Like, you know, like coaching and staff just don't meld well, and then you get somewhere and you just you mesh well. You know.
I got the perfect analogy, and Network Ryan sitting right beside us right now. He'll appreciate this one. The Toronto Blue Jays, every single guy they've traded away has thrived at their spots. Teoscar Hernandez socking dingers in the playoffs. You got Gabby Marino, one of the best back catchers in baseball in Arizona. Lourdes Gurriel's doing his thing. And all the guys they got in these returns, garbage. The pitchers that leave this place thrive. Everyone in Toronto, while they're developing with their player development coaches, do nothing. The second they leave Toronto, they're all all-stars. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And that has to do with how you're developing your prospects. So another thing to think about. Jays suck. Let's hope the Riders don't get stuck in that same sort of thing. All right. From the viewing room. Latest episode, by the way, Moulin Rouge up now.
Yeah. It was a fun one.
Ooh, it's a very fun one. And you guys are always killing it there as he co-hosts with our boy Dragon. And he's also our Rider Insider. LB, thank you so much, buddy. Happy Thanksgiving and go Riders.
Go Riders.
You say BC Lion Cats. I was thinking Chitara and the BC Thundercats. That's what I was looking for. Thank you again to LBR Rider Insider. Every single time he comes on air on this show, he gets a little bit closer to the greatest Rider Insider of all time, the great Jamie Nieballs, who we love so much over in the Green Zone. That's my dude right there. Hello to Mr. Nieballs. And go Riders, as we are halfway through the Friday edition of your show. We got Uncle Brando sticking around, this guy right here, because he's my dude, he's my guy, and we're looking to expand a little bit on our gaming. As you'll notice, it hasn't just been Halloween-themed things coming up on the stage. You'll also notice that I've been adding video game things as well. Check this out. You see that? That right there. I don't even know. What would you call this, Uncle Brando?
That's the Game Boy Pocket.
Game Boy Pocket says right on it.
Yep.
That's good. So we got a Game Boy Pocket here, and it did have Link's Awakening, which is right here. There it is.
There we go.
Great game. Beat that on here like 3 or 4 times now. You were talking about how Link's Awakening has been redistributed on like the DS and on like, the Switch and all those different versions. But you're saying the price is outrageous. Is that true?
It's like $80. It's for a remake of an old Game Boy game. Like I realize it's Zelda and it's Nintendo and money.
And
but, like,
that game though, that is like it's up there for best Zelda games of all time.
I agree. I
It really
think
is, just because it was so different and it still was so Zelda-y.
for me it's Link to the Past and then that one and then
Ocarina.
Ocarina's number 3, but like pretty far back number 3.
Yeah.
The more I play Ocarina, the more I'm like, I don't really like it that much.
Yeah, and that's fair because it was such a big, monumental, not just game, but moment at the time.
Yeah.
Like Zelda's big debut on the 64. Like, I remember Rick Bose. I was at Rick Bose's place. My good buddy, Mr. Bose, teacher over now at Bowman. We were at his place at Rosedale, and that was the first time I played it. He got it for, I think, Christmas or something, right when it came out, and we played a lot of Ocarina time. I'll never forget it. The exact place where I played it the first time. Very cool.
And he had the original version where he had the really cool chants in the fire temple.
Yeah, before they switched it. That's a real issue for you. Bless you, by the way, LB.
It's so good. It's so good.
But it was also terrorism or something like that?
No, it was a chant where it meant God is good in the language that it was being sung in. Forgive me, I don't remember the language. And that's nothing outside of people's sensibilities on that. But Nintendo has a very strict no real world religion policy on their
like
games.
us here. Well done, Nintendo. We can finally agree on something.
Yeah, so you cut it out. And it's fully understandable why they did it, but it is too bad because
It was way better in that form.
it's so perfect for the temple, right?
And so much so it was used in different games too. Like
Yeah.
That's the other funny part is that it came out in different games that they released, but just not on this one for some reason. So that's a little bit about our Zelda dreams. I also have the OG Nintendo here. Now this guy, it looks like we bought it for $15. It was probably my Davey, but my brother Davey, sorry, my sweet Davey. But it's got the screen printed off or pushed off, which is sort of weird. But the whole point of this is we also have another game right here. And I was just telling you right before we came back that game right there, that's NES Open Golf, but on
the Game Boy.
your Game Boy. And NES Open Golf, our good buddy Big Boy from Dinette Finishing, who built this whole place, thanks to a lovely donation from my friend Dr. Funkhauser, and that's how it became the Tooth Booth, thanks to Dr. Hausman and Associates. We had a round about a month ago where he shot 27 under par, and currently we checked the world records for NES Open over at Twin Galaxies, and he has the record, but it's only at -20. So
Wow.
both him and I have broken that record since, so we're going to be chasing more records over on our Twitch stream
There it is.
as we segue into. I don't know why I did a cool hip '90s like boy band dance there, but
That
there
was
you
really
go.
smooth. I
That was for
appreciated
you.
that. Can I tell you one thing about that Game Boy real fast?
Yes,
Did you buy it at High Tech?
it must have been. You're the guy.
You definitely did. And you know
Can you
why?
tell
I know
by the
that?
number
I
on the
can
tag?
tell by the number on the tag. That's how long I worked there.
50157. Was that like the Game Boy section?
That's the number of the Game Boy. Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
Very cool.
And I'll bet you it was
So-
$19.99 because that's how much the original OG Game Boys went for at the time. $24.99 if you wanted the Pocket. $27.99 if you wanted the Pocket Color. And I think the advances, they weren't backlit just yet, and they were for significantly more. They were like $39 or $49 at the time.
Interesting.
The little Pocket Super Nintendo at the time.
That's so cool. I love how we do that. And that's why he's a part of this whole Twitch adventure that we've been promising forever and I've slowly been building up as LB has been sort of tweaking with all the different setups. We finally got it moved to his permanent position. He's got it all set up and ready to go. We are finishing off, well, I'm finishing off a Twitch streaming schedule as we got our boy the Phenom, who, you know, he's just a hand, but somehow he can play games enough to have a world record as well of his own, along with ours here at the network on All-Star Softball Dusty Diamonds. And we're going to start doing the NES Open streams, I believe, Tuesday nights with Big Boy, as we'll be chasing those records, which will be very fun.
It's exciting.
What are your thoughts on the Twitch stream, my friend?
I'm super excited about it. We've been talking about it for quite a while now, actually. And we've got a couple of big ones coming up. I know people in Commander Cookout Nation, CCO Nation, as
Shout
we
out to
call
the
them,
nation.
have been very excited to watch the Big Boy teaches Brando and Gary how to beat Battletoads stream.
The Battletoads getting a lot
So
of
that's
push.
going to be a big one. I believe you and I, now that summer is kind of over and we can settle into more of a routine, I believe
Yes.
Fridays after the show, we're going to start doing ours, starting next week with WWF No Mercy, for the Nintendo 64 Entertainment System. And we're going to finish off Gary's CAW, or Creator Wrestler, by giving him a moveset that is very Gary-esque. So if you want to be a part of that, you can jump over onto Twitch after the show next week, and you can suggest what would Gary's finisher be.
It'll be really fun, too, because we can just flip it right over. You'll go from here, literally push two buttons, and then you'll see us over there.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
And we're going to build these characters. And then we're going to have a wrestling stable, the Dufferin Avenue Media Network wrestling stable, just like the NWO and or... Got two words for it. Degeneration X. It's one word with an hyphen, but still.
I think it was 2 words. Was it? It's definitely 2 words.
Degeneration?
Oh, I thought you meant suck it.
No, that's 2 words.
Yeah, suck it is definitely 2 words.
I know that because I got a sticker printed for one of my buddies and put it on my baby blue 77 Chevrolet Chevette on the back. And it just said 2 words, suck it. It's awesome. It was literally on the back window of the Chevette. I also had a nickel plumbing logo on the side of the Chevette, but it just said I just had the nickel on it. Actually, it was on the back around the hatch key opener.
Right.
So it just said nickel right around it from the Nickel Plumbing logo.
That's neat.
Yeah, I've been defaming the logo for years. I don't know how Dad let me get away with it. I guess I, mixed it up enough that they couldn't tell. But that car was an absolute beast, and I love it very, very much. So we get the wrestling going on, and we get these storylines, and we're going to have this really cool sort of adventure / journey together with the people watching it, which is going to be very fun as we build the characters and move on. We've talked about the Battletoads. We've talked about the wrestling. You've also been doing some F-Zero racing. Tell us where the F-Zero passion came from, brother.
It's just a game that I picked up, when it came out, I suppose, because I'm ancient. I'm basically a mummy at this point.
We're so old, it's ridiculous.
And I've always loved it. I like it more than the Super Nintendo one because it's more advanced, but I like it way more still than any other iteration that's come afterwards because they try to add too much stuff to it. It's racing on the outside of a tube, on the inside of a tube. Yep. Sometimes you're upside down. You're always going 1,000 kilometers an hour.
Literally, it says on the speedo.
Which is just that's how fast you want to go. You can kill people if you want, and it gives you a little star and makes a fun sound, or you cannot. It's just a fun game.
Are you a racing fan?
I am not. Only F-Zero.
See, and me either. And that's why it surprised me because I knew we had that sort of same thing, but this one really won you. I guess it's like me with Mario Kart. Like Mario Kart, I can do all day. But only on the Super Nintendo. Like I can do it on the 64, but I would prefer to do it on the Super Nintendo.
I kind of like the 64 one because you can play as Wario. That's full disclosure.
Wario.
I'm not going to win, right? Like this drunk Uncle Wario, right? Like I just love playing that guy. He's got his crack nose and his crazy stash.
Yeah, dude.
That guy did not get the respect that he deserved.
He did get the 6 golden coins on Game Boy.
He did. But
so that was his only sort of... Well, that wasn't 6 golden coins, so that was still Mario. There was an actual Wario game that was on the part of that series.
On the frickin' Virtual Boy.
Oh, yeah.
Wario Land. Like, man.
That Virtual Boy was rough, eh?
That thing is such a piece of crap.
If you don't know about the Virtual Boy, basically Nintendo got a pair of binoculars, put a stand underneath it, made people lean in like this and play like this. And I think the longest someone lasted during testing was like 10 minutes before killer migraines moved in and like destroyed everything in the brain from the horrible image that was produced for you to watch inside the Virtual Boy.
And it was barely 3D and it was all black and red. It was just junk. It was garbage.
Stuff. It looked like it was made by a Sith Lord.
Yeah.
Like if you really want to get nerdy with it, it's like Darth Maul came in there or like Count Dooku or someone was like, here, play on this.
If you ever watched those... sci-fi movies where they're like strap her to the chair and put the apparatus on your head and they just
Clockwork Orange
you with stuff.
That's
Orange. What it is.
Yeah, horrible.
It's just
so don't go buy a Virtual Boy.
So don't do. Well, I mean, nobody did anyway. That's why they're not around anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. I remember trying one once at Toys R Us.
Yeah, they had them set up. Could you imagine if they set one of those up today? Like, here, put your eyes into this thing. Don't worry, everybody else has done it. It's
fast. Fine. With the way parents complain about everything now.
Oh,
that wouldn't be up for 2 seconds. You tried to murder my kid. I'm suing you, Nintendo. It's like, well, the kid didn't have to put his eyes in there. No one was holding a gun. No, I don't care. Don't worry about that.
What was that?
That was just our side piece.
Yeah, side piece falling to the ground.
I was trying to reuse the duct tape.
Oh,
and
man.
It got too warm, I guess, and it melted off, which is fun. As we are hanging out with Uncle Brando, you know him, as one half of the Commander Cookout podcast, as well as, and I just realized this, we're getting really, really close to another BBO on the YTC, the CCO.
The BBO on the CCO YTC.
Yeah, because it's the Commander Cookout podcast YouTube page.
Yes.
God, I have to remember that. And there's a themed one as we have Halloween coming up. We're getting super spooky. How are the BBOs coming, my friend?
They're coming very well. I got the new product comes in on the 18th, which I think is 1 week from today. I'll be picking it up. I'll film it over the weekend. I've got all my stuff all set up. I think people are gonna enjoy this one. I think they are.
And if you want to know what they are, I'm sure you've heard of box openings, and if you haven't, it's exactly what it sounds like. That's the point we got to in society, where people watch other people open presents. That's literally what it is.
Yeah.
But the good ones are used with gimmicks, like Uncle Brando, who pulls out chainsaws and machetes, and he had a cleaver that he found in his house when he moved in, and he used that. So he gets very creative with it. He also had a Indiana Jones safari themed one where he was looking for treasure and had to dig into a beach and found something. Like, it gets very, very creative. Probably the best moment of all was when you took the face shot, though, hey? Box of the face.
Oh, man, that was...
Something.
That's suffering for art is what that is.
Where can people find the BBOs?
You can find them on the YouTube channel, the Commander Cookout YouTube page. If you Commander Cookout on YouTube, you'll find them all in there. They got their own playlist now. Also, if you search up Brando Does Stuff, I think it's still there. There's some really old ones that I did there. I started doing them during the time of troubles, as we call it.
Very good term.
To kind of amuse myself and just sort of do something that's fun.
Trouble. That's very good.
And it was, I don't know, I've enjoyed it lots. And I think that people say, oh, why would I want to watch this guy open this crap? One, because it's super funny.
It's so funny.
And two, why lose your own money gambling when you can watch me do it?
I forgot about the tag. He opens the shit so you don't have to.
Yeah.
That's it.
'Cause you never make out good doing that stuff, right? Like, if you open about 100 lottery tickets, the odds are you're going to win nothing. If I go out and buy 12 packs of Magic cards, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to open nothing. And the same would happen to you.
I don't want to ruin your day here, but I just thought of a really funny for everyone else except for you. Sometimes you will open something really good, but then it'll just get banned.
Yeah.
You want to talk real quick about what happened in the Commander, or not the Commander, I guess it is the Commander
Commander?
Magic world?
Yeah, sure.
Let people know what's going on. This has been a very hot topic on a very big part of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, the company printed a card that is very reminiscent of the most iconic card in the whole format called the Black Lotus. And the Black Lotus is a card that, if you find one in good shape, you're looking at high six figures dollars for this card. And so they reprinted...
That was 6 figures.
Yes.
Like buy a house with this.
Yes.
Okay.
And then they kind of reprinted like a reimagined version of it that people could play. And before it was even printed, people were saying, dude, like, you don't do this. This is a bad idea.
It's not going to end well.
Bad idea. But they did it anyway because money.
Money.
Right? They want money. Yeah. So they printed the card because they knew it would make people give them their money. So they did. And for a few years it went on. And if you ask me...
Yeah, I'm only laughing because I watched him go on this roller coaster ride, and it was so horrible. The car crash you couldn't save is what it was.
The fervor around it seemed to die off, at least in the circles that I'm in. I'm in the trenches, right? Like, I'm not going to say that I'm every Magic player, because I'm not, but the fervor died down quite a bit over it. But I guess the online conversation about it had kept going, and people were angry. Oh, it makes games unbalanced, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah.
Really digging deep to find.
Yes, mostly I would suggest due to accessibility, because this card sells for between 90 United States Freedom Dollars and $400 United States Freedom Dollars,
gap.
right? Depending on which version of the card you pick up. And so not everybody obviously is going to be able to afford to just go out and buy one of those. And so there's this rules committee, unpaid, they're affiliated loosely with the company, but it's basically just these 5 people who volunteered to do this work of maintaining this format.
Yeah, govern it.
And one day they just woke up and banned the card, along with another very expensive card that had been around for 20 years and another very expensive card that had been around for 10, all on the same day, all with virtually no notice.
And here's a question for you.
Okay.
As a card collector over the years, it's never been Magic cards, but I've collected baseball, hockey cards, all these sports cards, even wrestling cards, all sorts of cards. Has there ever been a moment where a card went from, yeah, this is your life savings, to now it's worth nothing? I don't think it carries over to the sports cards world at all, hey?
I don't think so.
There isn't a governing body like that to do it, I guess would be the point.
I feel like those cards are printed with and I think that this is a thing that should have been intrinsic in Magic as well. I think that sports card collecting, they have a certain degree of collectability printed into them by the company, and everybody knows that. For example, when the one that those ones that have pieces of played jerseys and stuff on them, right? Like, there's only going to be so many of those, and as such, they are going to be worth something to someone, and thus people will want to collect them. With Magic cards, the same thing is true, but they're also game pieces that are meant to be played in a game.
Okay. And this would be more like a Pokemon cards type of thing.
Precisely. Gotcha. And so part of the value of a card is also hinging on this card being legal to play in the game. When they're printed in modern times, and they could be reprinted at any time. The scarcity argument doesn't really work as well. So when a card like this gets banned, they just eat shit as far as value goes. And I'm a person that had a bunch of them. I had
He showed me. He had a picture of all of them laid out.
yeah, I had of the one we're talking about, Jeweled Lotus. I had 3 of those, all of which were foil, which is premium. 2 of which were even more expensive foil because they were borderless. The Dockside Extortionist that was banned, I had 8 of them, 6 of them regular, 4 of them were like the super duper borderless foils.
Sad.
And the Mana Crypt, which is another 200 United States Freedom Dollar card, I had 5 of them, one of which was foil, one of which was one you could only buy from your local game store, and each game store only gets one. And I got mine. So it's one of those things that's like, oh, damn it, and it just, the reason I got so personally angry was because I was actually planning on liquidating some of them to pay off my truck
Literally,
payments.
you were talking about, I'm going to cash in a couple of these.
Yeah, and I'm gonna help pay for my truck truck repairs. Nah,
And
didn't
then
do that.
5 people that are
Yeah.
just trying to govern a little
Yeah.
card game came in and said, Brando, we're taking all your money.
Yes, we're taking all that money and you don't have it anymore. And it worked out to I think it was $3,500 in collectibles value that I personally lost. I know other people lost a lot more, but it just shows the volatility of
That's the problem. Yeah.
investing in. And I wasn't investing. I opened these or happened to cross them or traded for them or whatever.
You weren't
So-
investing, but you were smart with your collection.
Yeah, the things that I kept, I keep them on a thing. Like every tattoo on my body represents me selling an expensive Magic card.
That's amazing.
Right? Like
That's so cool.
It's just because I want to do these things, and I don't want to pay money for them. That's real money. I'd rather
That's fair.
cash in my hobby stuff for them to
I think
have.
that's very smart. By the way, One Bad Podcast, new episode 19, up and live and ready for you to get out and enjoy. So be sure to check it on that. They talk a little bit more about Made in the Name of Rock and Roll, one of their albums. And that album also contained their first #1 hit, which leads into the next episode. A lot going on there with One Bad Podcast. LB just texted me to say, I will bring you an Atari 2600, ColecoVision, and an Intellivision to play with one of these days. So that's 3 more systems that we will be able to show off. And I hope you're going to bring your dad in with those too, because we've been flirting with this for a long time.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can get... What's that? That was him. That was your... Oh, that's big! There it is. I got Little Brookman and then just Brookman on it. I just saw Brookman, so I assumed it was you. Dude,
That's
you're bringing them
exciting.
in and you're joining us.
That's
That's going to be
exciting.
your way into this as we
Man.
start incorporating Big Brookman in more. I'm so sorry about that. That's so funny.
Man, I love Intellivision. I'm excited about that,
And,
dude.
yeah,
That's
and to
cool.
learn about them, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone always talks about how, have you remember this from this, remember this from that? Like, we were
Yeah.
just on the back end of that. Like, all of our my older brothers were playing them at their friend's house. But by the time I got to the point where I enjoyed video games, I missed that whole Atari, Coleco, and television sort of era.
Yeah, we missed
So I'd
the
like to get into
golden
it.
age.
Yeah,
And it's-
exactly.
I think it's called the golden age of video
Yeah, they're the
games, still, right?
godfathers. They're the ones that laid the plan down for Nintendos and everyone else to sort of take off.
And you look at them now, and they're primitive games. And I would assume, like, if Lil Brookman was to sit down with an Atari, like, what is this shit?
Yeah.
Is what he's going to say.
Why are
But
there numbers on these controllers? What is this garbage?
what is this, a fucking phone?
Hello? Is this how I play?
Yeah, but I think that there's, when you know the story behind a game, like where it came from,
And
all
that's
that,
where Big Brookman would
lots
be.
of that
Yeah,
stuff is
money.
is pretty interesting. Like, there's some of those games that are so kind of shitty, but
Yeah.
you want to play them because they have a really story. Sword Quest. I've talked about this so many times. The story behind Sword Quest is so interesting. It's so damn interesting.
Prove it.
And you hear, I'll give you a brief rundown of it, okay? So right near the end of the golden age of video games, right before the big crash, right? Atari had this contest where they released they were going to do 4 games. I forget, they're Air World, Fire World, Water World, and Earth World or something. Were
Water
these
World is a
Sword
great
Quest
movie.
games. Lots of pee drinking in it, though. No pee drinking
true.
in Water World, the game. And so they released
Kevin
these games.
Costner had gills, man. It was so weird.
And each of them came with like a comic book and a couple other pieces of accoutrement that you would use to play these games. And if you could enter a contest to win actual real live pieces of gold encrusted treasure. The Philosopher's Stones and goblets and crowns and jeweled swords and all this
Like
shit.
the Goonies pirate ship.
Like you could win tens
Full
of
of them.
thousands of dollars
Amazing.
like
Yeah.
jeweled things. And you did it by playing these games and filling out a form in the instruction manual and sending them in. And it's a whole
Very
big
cool.
thing, right? In the 80s,
Very
you used to do that kind of shit.
Hell yeah.
Then the game crash comes, and the last one to be released was Waterworld, and it was only released in very limited numbers. And the treasure that was associated with it was never given out. And the Air World just never existed. It doesn't exist anywhere. And again, the treasure from that and the treasure from the Grand Champion just like got lost in the ether. Like some homie at Atari just pocketed these things.
Are you sure they're not buried in New Mexico?
Oh, dude, they would have been dug
With
up
those
by now, I
ETs?
promise.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh
Those
man!
copies of ET.
So like, there's these actual real live treasures out there somewhere,
very
and it's
cool.
like it's such a cool thing to learn about and stuff. And if you go back and play the games now, because maybe somebody out there watching is like, man, those sound pretty cool. I should check those out. They're the worst pieces of crap.
I
you'll
bet you
ever
Big
play.
Brooklyn probably has them. Does he have a big game collection with those bad boys? Yeah. So he'll probably be packing them. He might even have a little bit of that treasure you're talking about.
I have
Some of
the
that loot.
I have Earth and Fire World, I think.
Dang.
Never found Waterworld. I have a small Atari collection as well. I got like the Kool-Aid game.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
like Missile Command and stuff. I like
Classic.
those. I like that stuff.
Okay, before we get to the end of the show, we got a couple minutes left. We have a very big thing going on next weekend here. Now, it's not going to be live, but if you watch the Commander Cookout podcast at all, you will know about Sidewalk Slam Season 2 right here on YouTube.
That's what I say.
That was my Brando impression.
Oh,
Tell
man.
us what the hell is a Sidewalk Slam, because I am so pumped. I'm going to be producing this thing, but I'm pumped to watch it too, because I watched the first one, and it's very cool. What goes on with a Sidewalk Slam?
So Sidewalk Slam is our gameplay series where if you ever wanted to sit down and know what it's like to play a game of Magic with the boys,
Which I have.
we're going to do that. We're going to literally do that in front of the cameras, and we sit down with a couple of buddies and we just play a game of Magic. And it's a lot of fun, and we're trash talking each other, and it's just like what we do at the store, at the house, except the cameras are on us.
And the reason I want to talk about this is because we've spent literally since day one, you've been a part of this thing. And we've spent so much time talking about Magic the Gathering, but we've never actually shown Magic the Gathering. So this is going to be like the first chance for us to be like, check this out. This is the shit we're talking about.
Now, we're going to do it. I think I encourage people to check it out. It actually is lots of fun, and there's something there for everybody, even if it's just the trash talk. We're not polite to one another for the most part.
Very aggressive.
So,
It's
yes.
very funny.
It's a
and
very
I think
good time.
it's the best way to get people who are like not even interested, but just curious, right? Because there's a lot of people that hear us talk about it, they say, that's kind of neat. But that's all.
That's for
as far as it
nerds.
goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is sort of a way for us to show you what we've been talking about for this past 6 months as we've been growing here as a family. And there's a reason we are connected so closely to the Commander Cookout podcast, because you guys are the reason that we started this. And I've told you that before when we first came out and we said, all right, time to just go for it. Let's chase these dreams. Let's get it all together. Let's take whatever Gary has left in his account and throw it all into this and start chasing dreams. Now, the first thing I did was, if you're going to try to make money doing something, it'd probably be a good idea to talk to someone who does it. And you were the only guy, and I tell you this all the time, the only guy I ever met that actually made money while being on YouTube. So you and Network Ryan, your co-host, were the ones that sort of built our path in here. So without Magic the Gathering and you guys, we wouldn't have any of this. So it's nice to sort of pay tribute to the guys that got us, the forefathers, if you will.
Aw, thank you very much.
So I'm very excited for that.
I'm excited to do it too, actually. We've got a really good facility here. If you want to be a part of the great facility we have here, you can go to dufferinave.com. You can be a part of the family.
Dufferinav.com.
I like
Be
to-
a part of the family.
And
.com,
It's great to come in here and just
Dufferinav.com.
create stuff and do
yeah.
stuff. And I'm excited to
The
do it.
guy
Are we going to do a
who
sandwich?
does
Is it a
it.
sandwich?
Sandwich into Young Bucks. Perfect.
There it is.
Too sweet? Awesome. There it is. Sorry, that's what bros do. That's called broing down.
Yeah, that's how we make things happen.
I feel like it is getting too hot now. It went up 4 degrees.
Oh man.
LB's got a cool in there still. We heated up 4 degrees for Uncle Browno.
4 big degrees.
One of my favorite things about walking into your office at work was always how warm it was.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I would go straight freezing in that thing, and the second Brando would come in, whoop, And then you hear all the engineers saying, "Who touched that?" It's like, no, not us. Totally, it's someone
No, it
else.
would never be me.
But it would be doing this one. We probably broke a couple heating units or cooling units in that place. He's like, I'm not a part of it.
Yeah, I've
Hey, it's
never-
all right. Big Brookman doesn't work there anymore. It's cool.
I've never adjusted the temperature at work in my life. I'll
Never.
have you know. I just like it when it's toasty.
It's nice.
I have syrup for blood. My
Yep.
circulation isn't great.
And I just can't believe that this tiny little heater that we set up, the Honeywell, has been heating us up so much.
Yeah, it's
4
actually-
degrees
It feels nice
within an hour
actually, Yeah.
since we started.
Yeah, the only spot of me that's a little bit uncomfortable is right behind, because there's an iron on my shirt, featuring Big Earth, by the way.
Big Earth.
Right behind it, because it's a little thick. I'm getting a little sweaty, like in this rectangle on my chest, which
I
is
didn't even
weird.
know Big Earth was on your shirt. I didn't even look at your shirt. What's
It's like-
wrong with me?
It's like the opposite of a Care Bear, because like the Care Bears are naked on their stomachs.
Reverse
right?
Care
So-
Bear?
So their stomachs are always cool, but the rest of them are warm.
Don't mind me. I'm just going to turn on the transmitter so we can play our way out of here.
What are we gonna? How do we? Okay, sure. So I'm hosting the show now, which is really good. You got a favorite Care Bear, Gary?
Oh, yeah. Sunshine Bear all day, baby.
Yeah, mine too. It's because he's yellow.
That's
I like the yellow one.
It was just because Sunshine Bear was always happy and sunshiny. Like I had a Sunshine Bear growing up. I had the cuddle guy, and that was my homie. So I guess that was sort of just my go-to guy.
Are Care Bears still around? Are they still?
Oh, yeah.
Are they
They're
still a
around,
property, young Brookman?
They are.
He doesn't know. He says.
He was watching them at lunchtime today.
Was he?
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah,
Probably.
it's
Hey
cartoons.
man,
Lunchtime
cartoons are rad. I watch cartoons
Yeah.
all the time.
Bring back the Flintstones.
Why did they take that off?
Because we're not allowed to have nice things.
It is such a good show, and it was like an institution for generations on new. Everybody watching right now knows somebody or did themselves watch the Flintstones when they went home from school for lunch. Everybody,
Everyone.
and we could still be doing that, but we're not, and that sucks.
On that note, let's go ahead and get Frankie going and make our way out of here.
Oh wait, did I say a negative at the
No,
end before?
no.
Should we
That's
say
perfect.
a positive instead?
Yeah.
Flintstone video games for NES. We could stream those if we could find them. They're
So good.
expensive.
I think
but
I
they're-
have one.
They're way better than they had any right to be.
Was the second one the one that was like $1,000 or something? Or was it the first? One of them was like highly collectible.
Oh yeah, I want to say it was the second one.
think so, too.
I want to say it was the
We'll
second
find
one. It was like the Blockbuster exclusive thing or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and that they only made a certain amount. That's why it was so.
Yeah, because it was just a test, like Hagane for the Super Nintendo. Man, I'm just going off now. I'm sorry.
We're so good at gaming.
I'm sorry. It's just
That's what you're going to get over in the Twitch, by the way. What a week. Oh, another one. An incredible one.
man.
All thanks to all of our guests, including Brooksy, who stopped by. We checked in with Adrian the Canadian over in Australia. We said hi to Coach Mazer as well. We said hi to Matt Remenda from the Matt Remenda Ensemble, who is a part of the 3 Hall Public House. Open mic night, unplugged tonight, 6 to 9 p.m. Head over there, and then the Matt Remenda Ensemble will be playing a show Saturday night as well over at 3 Hall. So thank you to him for giving us a couple of minutes. As well, we talked with Dragon, we talked with the Phenom, our buddy Curtis Anderson was here, LB was here a couple of times, you, Hardcora, you were going to say something.
breaking news.
Here we go.
We don't usually do breaking news on the show,
Break it.
but we're going to. Did you know? And this was on Twitter, so it has to be true.
Of course.
Directly from wrestling Twitter, baby.
Yes.
Did you know that Nick Khan and the WWE have invented and this has to be true because it's on the internet, a hurricane machine that they used to sabotage the headquarters of AEW before they go on to the CW with their new TV deal. That's a real thing that I read on the internet.
It makes me laugh because I understood every word of that entire paragraph. You're telling me that the conspiracy theorists are saying that all of this horrible world-changing dramatic shit that's happening in Florida was because of wrestling?
Yes.
Okay, good
Yep.
to know. That's what you learned today. CTV's Matt Young, thank you to him. Another great day looking at hockey games from the Nintendo all the way up to the 64. That was
Hell
fantastic as
yeah.
we celebrated opening of Hockey Day. And to Uncle Brando, one more time, thank you for everything you do. Remember, karma's very real. Do good things. They'll start happening to you. We're off Monday. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.